Hello, everyone, and welcome to the W2 Report Live Digital Brick Edition. Tonight, we're going to talk Ubisoft and what they did to a game that is supposed to be a single-player experience. But before we do that, let's lay down some ground rules. Rule 1.
Rule number 1, don't be a dick. Rule number 2, if you have questions, refer to rule number 1. Do not contact anybody we're talking to about, etc. Go discuss on social media someplace if you really feel like you have to. In fact, if you do that, place a link to this video. However, no threats, no going to visit people, don't dox anyone. It's just rude. And we will be absolutely the first people to disavow you.
That is right.
Don't do that. Don't do any of that crap.
That is right. That is right, because we have a bit of admin before we get started tonight.
Oh noes.
This is the third live stream that I've set up between the last 2 weeks, and I would like to apologize to everybody who was expecting a W2 report last week and the potpourri episode. We just happen to have a little bit more stressing breaking news than usual tonight. Also, the next W2 report should be on the 9th of August, with a new intro sequence. I am hoping and planning and praying that we're going to have. So please check it out. If not, it will be the one afterwards. That will be all for that. So let us open discussion with saying today's meme.
A meme.
Yes. What's out there, Dad?
Memes.
What's out there, Dad? Ignorance, son. Ignorance on a scale I have never seen before. Okay.
I still like the Buzz Lightyear version. Idiots everywhere.
Yes.
Because there's loads of idiocy that goes on. Now, for the record, before we get started, Ubisoft does retire its games every once in a while, and well, they should, because frankly, servers do actually cost money.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about large-scale multiplayer, because it's. What is it? I think it's 10 or I think bandwidth in and of itself costs 10 cents a gigabyte.
Yeah.
You can imagine what that costs after. You can imagine what that costs. That's just the multiplayer server. Okay. However, we're also talking about a DRM server and a bunch of other shit. In this case, and there's a whole list of games that Ubisoft has done this to. They're actually very public about that. The problem, of course, is when they kill servers for single-player games, or at least some single-player games, or single-player capable games, I should say, because Rainbow Six Siege is not single; it has no single-player component.
Right.
For Honor and a great many other earlier games, they don't have a single-player component. You're just screwed when they turn the server off. There's a reason I don't go out of my way to play games like that. Oh look, you want to go play Halo 2? No. Fuck right off.
Mm-hmm.
You can play Halo Infinite when we get when we the great gods of Microsoft decide we want to do that. In this particular case, and the reason that everybody including us is bitching, they killed the server, which is effectively a DRM server, for Might and Magic 10.
Ooh.
Which meant you can't get anywhere. There are 4 acts of that game, and you can't get anywhere. You can't get anywhere past the first act without a mod. At this point, some clever people actually managed to put together a mod. No, I won't be linking to it. I found it very easily on Reddit. And that's as close as you get.
Yeah,
The
and
problem, of course, is that Might and Magic 10. The problem here is that Might and Magic 10 doesn't have a multiplayer component. It's not set up for one. There was a. I think there might have been a multi. No, I don't think there was. Doesn't
no.
matter. It is at its core, like all the other numbered Might and Magic games, a single player experience.
Ooh.
And if you want to go play with the DLC, you're boned. You are absolutely 110% fucked, whether you paid for it or not. They just took it away, and that also had to do with them shutting down this particular batch of servers. There are a few other strictly single player games on that list, but what they should have done, and what they are currently being encouraged to do, and they say they're actually looking into it. They're actually looking into a way to solve the problem, that particular problem, is, you know, send out a patch that deals with this problem. That'll let you use all of the things you actually freaking bought, because you're not going to get the bonuses from Ubisoft points or shit like that, unless they decide to unlock them for everybody, which is not impossible,
Right.
but I find it incredibly unlikely. But yeah, in this particular case, yeah, everybody's screaming, you know, EA's the worst, Konami's terrible, and Ubisoft and the Frenchy bastards, the froggies over at Ubisoft said,
Hold my
"Dude,
beer.
hold my beer." Oh, and don't get into the Chateau de Chasselet, because yeah.
Yeah, and
Bonus points for anybody. Hey, bonus points for anybody in the comments that can tell me what Chateau de Chasselet is, and what its source might be.
now, we
Pro tip:
came. Yeah,
just a quick hint. It's not what you think.
yeah. Uh, Now, we came across this story through a very interesting little source. Do you mind telling us about it?
How about you tell them about it? Since
Okay.
I've done all the talking up until now.
Okay. Fair enough. We.
You have to talk. You have to talk during these things at least some. And I know I've run over you several times. I've already run over you several times, and B, about half of these live streams, half of these podcasts tend to wind up being me talking and you going, or
Yeah.
just sitting there at your chair. It's your show. You talk about it.
Okay. There is a YouTube channel which I will link in the pinned comment down below after the live stream, called Lack of Entertainment, and he put up a video, which is kind of a mixed bag at this point, in my opinion. I don't know if you will disagree with that, Croc, but he goes on a rant about social justice warriors, and it's all kind of a mess right now at that particular juncture. And then
Considering that the social justice warriors had nothing to do with them shutting down the fucking server?
no,
Seriously.
no,
They did not. And anybody that suggests otherwise is probably out their damn minds.
right,
Probably.
and yeah, and then you brought this to my attention, and I started doing a little digging, and it said, "Yeah, we better do this Monday instead of the aforementioned potpourri episode."
Yeah, that's just a lot of random stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff that we probably could go about dealing with, but you kind of get to a point where why would you want to?
yeah. Uh, so we have Ubisoft telling Konami and EA to hold its beer, and shutting down single player experience servers. And what makes this very interesting, to me, is the fact that the reviews on this particular game got so bad that Ubisoft actually asked Steam to remove it from the store page, and then pending a fix, mind you, and then removing that store page from the search results.
Because that's what delisting it means. That's the thing that happens when they delist a game. And I forgot to mention when I set off on my little rant, that this was actually going to be a thing. It is, in fact, all of the things. They shut the servers down back in the early part of June and left it on sale in demo mode. So people were paying full price for the demo.
Right.
And that rightfully annoyed some people.
Right.
I'd have been pissed. But then my copy is courtesy of Ubisoft itself, because that was a thing at the time. Years and years, back when the dinosaurs were tiny.
Mm-hmm. Because
no, bad Ubisoft, no biscuit. Don't do that. If you're gonna leave it up for sale, at least give us a fucking patch, or tell us, or give us the demo for free, and then tell us that we can pay for the patch to make it the full game. Because you're downloading the entire game, even from the very beginning, you were downloading the entire game.
Right.
Whether it's a demo on it or not. All they did was they put a thing in there so that the server itself would say, "Oh, well, okay, fine. You have access to the full game." And as far as anybody can tell, it only actually needed that thing to call home when you pass that one point, or decided to try and go on to one of the DLCs.
Right, which is almost a separate issue altogether. If it wasn't for the fact that they shut the servers down.
Yeah, well, again, digital rights management in the modern age. That's what happened here. That is exactly what happened. And Ubisoft has been so freaking paranoid that somebody might like their game, and not give them their pound of flesh. That yeah, no, I know a guy that pirated it years ago, and he can get through that spot. Here's the save right before there, and he just walks blithely on, complete with DLCs. Yes, that's right. He can go to that one town. He can go to that one town and get arrested.
Ooh.
Which is the opening up for the DLC Falcon and the Unicorn. He can wear the fun helmet, all that shit.
Now,
so the pirates, the people that are getting from other sources, they don't have any problems with the game, because they have the mod that shuts that shit off.
Of course they do.
I'm just sorry I wound up paying for it.
Of course they do.
Of course, I like the idea of license having appropriate purchasing for all of the things.
Now, remind me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Correct you if you're wrong?
Yeah. Wasn't there supposed to be a second set of DLC for this game that was supposed to come out?
Yeah.
It never did?
Never appeared. It never appeared.
So, I don't know what's worse. Them advertising a DLC that never came out.
And will never come out because the game's what, 6 years old? If they haven't got it out by now, they're sure as hell not gonna.
Yeah.
Like 20, I think it was 2014 or 2015 they released that game.
2014.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's 6 years. It's 6 years and change.
Yeah.
The game's just the game in question is, yeah, it's old, comparatively old, but they chose to retire it and its servers so that they could move, so they could do something else, probably something else exceedingly stupid. They were probably in the process of uh, reformatting and setting that server up for the next Ass Creed game, whatever that's gonna be. I haven't heard an announcement yet, but I'm
I
still not gonna buy it.
I think they're doing another Tom Clancy game.
My condolences to the Tom Clancy game and to Tom Clancy as a whole. The man's been dead how long now, and they're still using his name.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no Tom Clancy in the Tom Clancy games. There never has been. Hell, there's no Tom Clancy in the Tom Clancy books anymore. They're still publishing those 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah.
The Tom Clancy's been dead for, God, I don't even know how long. What, a decade or more?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he did good work while he was still breathing in and out, but he stopped doing that a while ago.
Any way to push the copyrights. Now,
That's just it. I think this push for copyright enforcement is really seriously a super froggy thing.
mm-hmm.
I think it's actually just the French being paranoid people. Is when you absolutely 110% have to have 5 layers of DLC, you're off the deep end.
You mean DRM?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you have the standard de novo. You have this. You have that. On top of Ubisoft's Uplay? Not gonna support that shit.
And Steam, because EA started that shit. They put EA games on Steam,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have the Origin Thing client just to get them to work.
Yeah. Now,
Here's a good one for you, Sanji. Do you know what Tom Clancy did besides writing?
uh, wasn't he an intelligence officer?
No. He was an insurance salesman.
uh,
But yeah, he died October the 1st, 2013, which means he's been dead now almost 8 years.
now, I want to show what I was talking about earlier. So, I'm going to start up the. So, I'm going to start up the SteamDB page for Might and Magic 10. And you should be seeing me adjusting it on your screen now. Now,
Or so.
Now, July 15th, 2021, which is about 4 days ago, according to SteamDB, they changed the depots to say no online.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
That means they did in fact fix it. Or they apparently they at least say they fixed it. Let's have a look.
And let's take a look at the store page.
Give me a second. I'm working on it. I cannot see it from here. Look at all the Might and Magic games. They haven't re-released it to Steam.
No, they haven't. It's still at the request of the publisher. However, if I go into the search bar for
Talking all the shit.
there is no Might and Magic 10. There's 6, 7, 6 gold, 6 complete edition,
It
7.
should have a collection of 1 to 6 as well. Should have. They may not.
No. Isolate my windows. No. Just 6 and 7, that's it.
Could have sworn they had 8.
No.
GOG's got 8.
GOG's got 8, but not Steam.
Actually, the only one GOG doesn't have would seem is 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody's got a 10 except Ubisoft. At least not for the moment. Hell, it was bad enough that people were buying Might and you can't even get. You couldn't even. I couldn't even find it. I couldn't find a single key selling site that had Might and Magic 10 keys. Not one.
Not one. Because the Might and Magic 10 was apparently so bad at DRM that none of the key resellers would dare touch it. Not even G2A, I don't think.
G2A and King wouldn't have listings for Might and Magic 10. They just say they're sold out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's actually true is a different issue.
Right. And of course, it's going to require some graphics. But the review bomb has been very fortunate with us.
Yeah, that's been kind of epic.
Yeah, 6% of recent reviews have been positive. Overall reviews, 65 are positive. That puts it at a mixed rating, which is not bad considering the controversy they're facing right now.
To be honest with you, it's actually a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's a good game, but again, Ubisoft, in their infinite wisdom, decided to shut all the DRM servers down on this game.
See what I would have done. Here's what I would have done if I'd been Ubisoft. Make a public thing about having turned the servers back on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, while they look for a fix, and then left it on Steam. And then once they were once they had their fix tested and all the rest of the neat stuff, then quietly shut the servers down the same way they did the first time, only with the patch already in place.
Hold on. Okay. Alright, so... Yeah. That's
Of course,
going to
if
be a
I'd have
thing.
been Ubisoft, I'd have told them to get the patch ready before I shut the servers down the first fucking time. That's me. I have a bad habit of thinking and not being a frog.
Yeah. Yeah, they retired the servers on July the 2nd. They removed this. They removed it from Steam on the 2nd of July.
Because the servers had already been dead for a month by then.
Yeah. And
But they only
yeah.
took the game off Steam because of public backlash.
Yeah, this game was essentially a free money press for them. For anyone who
It wasn't free, but they certainly did. All the old school Might and Magic fans, they all bought this game.
yeah, and then they got boned by DRM, which begs the question that I posted down in the description: does Ubisoft care more about DRM than their paying customers? If that's the case,
Yes, they do. They wouldn't put 5 layers of DRM on some shit if they didn't. If typically put 5 levels of DRM plus a couple of plus 2 or 3 layers of anti-cheat if they didn't give a shit.
I mean, take a look at all the Ascreed games that they put out so far. All of them include some layer of DRM. Assassin's Creed 2 included a multiplayer function, which they shut the servers down on that. On the same batch of server shutdowns as Might and Magic 10.
Yeah, but they warned the Ass Creed 2 players.
Yeah, they warned the Assassin's Creed 2 players, but not these guys.
Hey guys, we're not going to support Ass Creed 2 anymore. Why don't you all move on to Ass Creed 3 for a year or so till we decide to shut those down for Ass Creed Japan or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, you could take a look. You can take a look at SteamDB's history right here. Yeah, they removed everything about this game, including the depots.
What? Assassin's Creed 2?
No, I mean, I was talking about Might and Magic 10.
Did they?
Yeah, you can take a look right here. They removed the depots and said no online.
Is that the only thing it says?
It says no online, time updated. No online, password required. No online description, online and SDK removed. No online build ID. No online depot number. No online depot number. It's the same number.
In other words, they put their patch together, and now they've had to replace it several times because it wasn't working quite the way quite the way they think everybody wants it to perform. And by the way, the new Tom Clancy game is called X Defiant,
which is not good. It's like copy paste of Cold War, if we're being honest. From what little I've seen of it so far.
I haven't seen anything. I'm just looking at Tom Clancy on Gurgle.
Oh.
And that, sir, in fact, is the only thing I'm looking at.
I mean,
even the live stream. Because I assume you know what the hell you're doing.
I mean, let's take a look at some of the reviews. I mean, it was kind of mediocre when it was playable. Now it can't be played through. You showed these pirates a thing or two. What a game!
Yep, you showed those pirates. You damn sure showed those pirates because the people that pirated it, they can play. They can play it all.
What a great game. I guess you can't figure it out by yourself anymore. At least remove the DRM. For sure. I don't understand why you want to penalize people who bought your game.
That's ultimately what it comes down to with DRM for the most part.
Yeah.
Because if you're not gonna buy that game, you don't have the money to pay for the game or what the hell ever. you can you can move your ass right along. You might pick up the pirate version and then later on buy a license. But if you're just one of those people that's just not going to pay for the game, but you still want to play it because you hate that Ubisoft does all of the things and then hides its pedos, um, they're not going to buy the game anyway.
No.
So all the digital rights management in the world winds up on the heads of people that paid money. But we have to have all this DRM to protect our rights. Your rights aren't being protected, dude. They've been cutting through your shit like a hot knife through butter. And they've been doing this to you for decades.
Yep. Gonzo wrote a review. I wouldn't say don't buy, but Ubisoft has delisted. However, I would say don't buy any Ubisoft games, as now they have established a track record of taking your money and then a few years down the road removing support, which also means removing the DRM servers. Removal of the DRM servers means any owners, and I use that term loosely under Ubisoft's terms and conditions, can no longer access the ending of the base game and any DLC/pre-order items. Track record on this game from Ubisoft is utter disdain for its customers. They should have removed the DRM from the game prior to removing the DRM servers so owners can continue to play the game they paid good money for. So return to favor and boycott Ubisoft products until they realize they can't treat its customers with contempt. And probably break a few consumer laws in different countries along the way, knowing that we little guys can't afford to take them to court.
Oh yeah, we'd have to take them to court in France, and the French absolutely love their gaming companies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at what Knock-On did to Frogwares.
Oh yeah,
They actually had to do a patch for the Sinking City to bring them at least remotely into line. They're still demanding the fucking source code for that game for the Sinking City, and I wouldn't give them fuckers the time of day. If you're thinking about chatting up a French publisher, don't. You'll take fewer chances at EA. Seriously. EA or Konami, because the way these guys seem to like to work their contracts is absolutely and it follows strictly French law and no other, because France is the ultimate thing. I don't know. I heard somebody say that about South Africa once. Look at it now.
Mm-hmm. Shut down DRM servers so the game cannot be fully played, and the prophecy was fulfilled since DRM was invented.
Huh.
Here's a rare positive review. Solid turn-based role-playing.
What?
Here's a positive review. Solid turn-based role-playing.
Yeah, that would be about what it is. It's because it's really, really, really hard to lock up a Might and Magic game. Seriously.
Boycott Ubisoft. As you can see from my hours logged in this game, I'm no fair weather fan of either this game or series. Indeed, despite its flaws, I've listed it as a solid mid-tier entry and worth investigation for any fan of either Might or Magic or grid-based dungeon crawlers. That said, Ubisoft's decision to disable their DRM servers and the subsequent loss of not only my unlocked rewards in the game, but of the DLC, even managing to break the base game itself, That in itself would be enough for scorn, but the decision to remove the game from sale rather than at least restore a single-player functionality to their own mistakes is where they cross the line into utterly shameful behavior. I will amend this review should they ever restore the game to functionality. However, as of this time, I will not be patronizing Ubisoft or any other subsidiaries, as I cannot trust that I will have access to my purchases within reason. And I would recommend anyone who reads this at least considers that possibility for yourself. For the record, I do not expect perpetual support, but if I still have a computer that can run a single-player, locally hosted run game, I Blair will expect it to be able to play it.
Yeah, well, honestly, they're telling us we're not learning anything new here.
No.
People with opinions on Steam, yeah, that's kind of a thing.
Let's see here. More greatest hits. Don't buy Ubisoft until they fix breaking the DRM on a game that prevents you from ever actually finishing the game and all the things you paid for.
Or Ubisoft sending people nasty, ugly emails banning them from games they've never actually played or owned.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah, that was Larry Bundy Jr.'s. That was the last one. The last hit on Larry Bundy Jr.'s most recent video. The guy got banned from For Honor via email when he can actually show his Uplay account and state clearly that which states clearly he doesn't own a copy of that game. Doesn't own a copy of that game, didn't give a shit about it beforehand, none of that crap. None of that shit. So, yeah, that was a thing. What a day, what a day.
Yeah.
Alright, have we burned through this yet?
I think we've burned enough time to consider ending it.
Oh, I was just wondering if we burned through the topic.
Yeah, I think we have.
Good. Well, we told them we told them what happened. Mm-hmm. We told them what our opinions of this are. And sorry, I'm with the Steam users here. Including the one that wrote the plan that I had just spoken of like minutes earlier.
Anyway, that was...
All right, so we're about ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. That was Crack a Squirrel.
All right.
I am Sanji Himura. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you have any thoughts, comments, opinions, share them down below. We'll read them out on on a second live stream that will happen on my Twitch account at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Link to which will be in the pinned comment in the chat. I will tweet out the live stream about 30 minutes before I go live. So, with that said, I am Sanji Himura.
Give me at least 15 minutes, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
What did I tell you about this whole committing thing?
Yeah. So, I have been Sanji Himura. Thank you all for watching this little live stream. And I will see you guys on the next W2 report soon.